Hey there, Karina here from Delegate to Succeed. I'm a former teacher turned certified Dubsado specialist, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about canned emails. So if you see me look to my side every once in a while, it's because before I began, I jotted down just a few notes because this video is jam-packed with information, and I want to be sure to tell you right now up front what you can expect in this video. So first, I'll be discussing what is a canned email. I'll show you the default canned emails that are included inside Dubsado. I will discuss smart fields and how you can use those to personalize your emails and save you a ton of time. I'm going to show you how to send emails. You can send those manually through a project or through the workflows, and I'm going to show you both processes. I'll give you some tips on how to organize your emails. And last but not least, I want to make sure you know where you can go in and create your email signature. So let's begin. What is a canned email? A canned email is basically a template that you create for those emails that you are repeatedly sending throughout your process to clients. So it's a way for you to save time and not have to recreate that email all the time. So let's dive in. So let's go look at how to create canned emails. So when you're in your Dubsado account and at the dashboard, come to templates and then canned emails. And so before we begin, you'll need to know that you need to connect your email to your Dubsado account. I actually have a separate video that explains how to connect your email to Dubsado, so I'm not going to go into those details now. We'll assume you've already connected your email for the purpose of this video. So you'll see here there's several templates. You can open them up, you can customize them, and you can edit them and use them. But I'm going to show you how to create a brand new one. You're going to select New Canned Response. The very first thing is you're going to give it a title. The title is something that the client will never see. It's actually a way for you to organize your emails so that you can quickly find them when you need to send one or when you're trying to connect one to some content that you're going to send. So let me give you a tip. Let me show you how I organize my emails. The first part of the title, I always use the service name. So I'm going to pretend this email is for my Dubsado Done For You service. If it was for my strategy session, then I would put Dubsado strategy session. So whatever your service is, that would be the first part of your title. The second part is going to be which workflow is it, the name of the workflow. So usually there's lead workflows or inquiry workflows. There might be an onboarding workflow. Maybe you have an active client or implementation or project management workflow. And then maybe you have an offboarding workflow. Whatever the name of the workflow is, that's what goes here. So we're going to say this is a lead workflow. The next one is a number. Which email is it in this workflow? Is it the first email you're sending, the second email, third, or so on? We're going to say this is the first email I'm sending. And then you use the purpose of the email at the end of this title. So why are you sending it? So I'm going to say that this is the discovery call has been confirmed. That's the purpose of this email. Okay, so let me show you just one more to make sure that that makes sense. Let's say this time it is my Done For You Dubsado service still again, so we're going to leave that at the front. But the second part you'll remember is the name of the workflow. This time it's going to be my offboarding workflow. Once again, it is the first email in my offboarding workflow, but the purpose of this email is I want to send them information about the kickoff 30-day support that I give after a setup is done. So again, it would be the name of the service, which workflow, which number for which email it is, and then the purpose of the email. So let's go back to what I had at the beginning because we're going to pretend I'm typing up an email for a confirmation of my discovery call that has been booked. The subject is the next part, and the subject will be seen by the client. So I'm going to say, your discovery call is confirmed. So it says your discovery call with, and then this is called a smart field. It's going to pull in my brand name, so Delegate to Succeed. So your discovery call with Delegate to Succeed is confirmed. That's my subject line. Once again, this is a smart field. So let's look at those a little closer. Down here, if we click on smart fields, first we have some for project. A project smart field is information about the project, and they're especially useful if you're an event-based business. Client smart fields are all the information you have about your clients. There's invoice smart fields and business smart fields. Business smart fields are smart fields regarding your business. So in this case, it would be my business. And you can see you can pull in logos, email signatures, all the information about your business. Date smart fields, link smart fields. Links are to specific content, such as a form. And I'll explain this a little bit more in a minute. Appointment smart fields. These show information regarding a booked appointment, and they only work properly when you're sending it in an email that is sent through the scheduler template for the appointment smart fields to work. So when you send a scheduler, there's typically a place to send an invitation email, a confirmation email, and reminder emails. So these smart fields work in those emails when they are sent through the scheduler. We have form smart fields and then payment plans. Back to the form smart fields. This is information about any specific content. The payment plan smart fields are smart fields that are to be sent through the payment schedule. So they're kind of like the appointment smart fields, excuse me. They only work when you're sending a payment reminder through a payment schedule in the reminder section for it to work correctly. Okay, so let's go through and we're going to create a pretend email. And I'm going to show you how you can use these smart fields to populate information. So I always like to start all of my emails with my logo. I just like that at the top for branding purposes of my emails. And then I'm going to say, hey, and I'm going to come down here to smart field, client. We're going to pull in their first name. And then I'm going to add a little text. Thank you for... And obviously I usually type in a little more information, but I'm going to leave it there. But then since this is about an appointment, I want to be sure to include all the information about the appointment so that they have the information. So I'm going to go over here to appointment. Whoops, I'm going to type date. And then I'm going to go populate the date with the smart field. So smart field start date. Then I'm going to include the time. So smart field, appointment start time, and then I'm going to include the length so they know how long to plan this call might take, appointment duration, and then you can add other things like the location, and then I like to include the conferencing link because my appointments are always over Zoom, and then I'm going to add a smart field for the calendar so they can just add it to their calendar. And then last but not least, I'm going to say, that's just a quick way to jot that down. Might want to reword that in better. But okay, so then we're going to come over here and we're going to put the cancel button. And then I like to give a little space between my buttons. And then I'm going to put the reschedule button. And that way they have an opportunity if they need to cancel and reschedule. And then if you'll look here, it does already have the smart field for the brand signature, but I'm going to show you where to find that. Smart field, business, email signature. And there it is. So this is just a way that you can use those smart fields to populate that information quickly. So I'm going to come over here and save and close. And then since I ended that email with a signature, that leads quite nicely up here. So up here we have signature. You can come in here and type what you want. I'm going to change that just so you can see here that this is where I could type what I would like to be in my email signature. I will tell you that I actually created mine in Canva. You can make it a little prettier. You can add some images. So I may add a video to show you how to create an email signature separately. So check for a different video if you're interested in that. But for now, I'm going to click Save. And now let's talk about how we can send those emails. We can send them manually through the project, or we can send them through a workflow. I'm going to begin by showing you how to send them manually through a project. So you go to projects, and then you select your client that you want to send an email to. Yeah, I have a client, Keith Urban. Maybe not, but I do have a bit of a celebrity crush. So he's my sample test client. We're going to click on him. And then we're going to go to emails, and then we're going to go to send email. So then here's where you could either type one and then click send, or if you've created an email that you want to pull up, you would click this little bookmark and all your emails would pull up, and you can see why it would be very important to have them organized so it's quick, especially the more you have, so you can find it quickly. So then you would just pull in that email and you'd be ready to send it to the client. Okay, so let's say I want to send content. I don't want to just send a text email. I need to send them a form. Let's start with that. So let's pretend I want to send a form. Typically, when we send something to clients, we go in, we create our email, and then we attach whatever it is, our document, our spreadsheet, a welcome packet. But in Dubsado, it's kind of reversed. It's backwards. You actually go find the content first, so the form, and then you attach the email to it. So I'm going to pretend I want to send Keith a questionnaire. So I'm going to go to Forms. Then here I'm going to click this for the drop-down menu, and I'm going to find the questionnaire I want to send him. And then it pulls it up here. I'm going to add it to his project. And when I do this, this actually gives me the ability to edit this if I want to, because what Dubsado has done, it has created a copy of the master template. So I can edit this form without changing that master template. So I can make specific changes to this questionnaire or to this form for the client. I'm not going to, we're going to pretend it's ready. But then when I'm ready to send it, I first selected the form, added it to the project, and now I click send. And then you see it pops up with a place for me to now pick the email. So if I've created an email, I would come down here and find the email and add it. So now if you are sending content, in this example, if you're sending a form, you want to be sure that in the email there is a form smart field link, so that Dubsado will be able to replace that link with the actual form and the link to it. So in this case they have, and that's why this button is here. But if you are making a new canned email, be sure you go over to link and click form link, and you'll see it actually created another button, and that's because I have included the form first. If I hadn't, this would be blank. But I actually don't need this because it was already there. But that is how you do it. So if you're sending content such as a form, make sure you use the form smart field link within the email. The same thing for schedulers. If you want to send a scheduler to a client, you select the scheduler first and then the email. So I would come to appointments. I would come over here, schedule appointment. I'm going to use an existing scheduler template. So then I would go find the one I want and add it. And then I would come here and say I want to send it. And then I could come down here and select the email that I want to include that I've created. Now, once again, if you're sending a scheduler, then you want to be sure you use the scheduler smart field link that's down here. Whoops, sorry. Smart field link, scheduler link. You want to be sure you insert that so that the scheduler will be included in your email. Okay. So that is how you send them manually. I do want to show you one more thing before I get out of here. I'm just going to open one of these up. Actually, no, I've got to go to email. Sorry. I'm going to go to send email. You can send a link that's outside of Dubsado. So for example, I create my welcome packet in Canva, and I do that because if I create it in Canva, I can go make changes inside Canva, and I don't have to come back and re-upload the updated version in my emails or in my workflows. So let's just pretend there's an email here, and then I want to send my link to my welcome packet. You can, like I said, you can add a link to maybe Google Docs, Canva. What I would do is I would click this A for formatting options. I would click this link, and I like to do buttons. I just like the way they look. And then you'll see it wants the URL. So then I would go to my my welcome packet in Canva. I would click share, and I would say I want anyone with the link to view. And I would copy the link. I would come back over here, paste the URL, and then I could, whatever the text refers to, what do you want the button to say? So I could say, welcome packet. I always like to click open in a new tab so that when it takes them out of Dubsado, they can easily just tab over and get back in and then insert it. And so now you see there's actually a link. And if I go to an incognito window and open that up, you see here they can get inside here and see my welcome packet. But you do that once again, the formatting option here, and I selected the button, and then you enter, copy and paste the URL and enter the text for the button, and then open in a new tab and insert. Just a nifty little trick that keeps you from having to recreate or re-upload something that you've updated. Okay, so I've showed you how to do it manually through a project. Now let's go to workflows. So we're going to go to templates, workflows, and I'm going to show you now how you send an email through a workflow. So if you're sending one that's just text, you're not trying to send any kind of content, you're going to add the action, and you're going to just select send email, and then you get to tell, how many days and what trigger, and then right here you would click and find the email that you want to send. And of course you can proofread it, you can make changes. You can make changes right here, and it will not change the template that you've created under canned emails. So you can do that. And so that is how you send a canned email that does not need any content attached to it. If you come over here and you go to canned emails and you make changes to an email here, it will not update the email in the workflow unless you go back in and re-add it so that it can select the newer version. So if I come in here, make changes to an email, then I would need to go back to workflows. I would need to find the email that I sent. Let's pretend it was this one. I'm going to edit it. And let's pretend that I made changes to this email. Then I would have to come here and find it, select it, so that it will upload the newest version inside the workflow. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, so when you send an email with no content, you just select the action send email. But if you need to send a form or a scheduler, we're going to choose the content first. So I'm going to add an action. Let's pretend I want to send a form. I'm going to select send form. And now I'm going to go choose the email. So the form I want to send, let's say it's the questionnaire. So first I choose the form. I tell it which form I'm sending. Then I choose the email that I want to go with it. So again, you'll remember, kind of like when we were doing it manually, first we're going to select the form, and then we're going to choose the email. So if you're sending a form, you cannot send two form links within the same email. Because as you see in this workflow, if I include another form link, there's only one being told to populate into this form link. It would not know what to populate into the second form link. You can only choose one. Okay. All right. So then if you're wanting to send a scheduler, you always choose scheduler first. So the action is send scheduler. And then once again, you can select, when. Then you choose which scheduler you want to send, and then what email you want to send with it. Okay. So once again, scheduler first, then email. And then the same thing in this, you cannot send a scheduler link and form link in an email because there's nowhere to tell it there's nowhere to tell it which form to send. I only have a place to tell it which scheduler to send. So those are just some advanced tips. So let's go take a look now. We've looked at how to send them through a workflow. Let's go look at those default canned emails. So up here under Edit Templates are the default canned emails that Dubsado provides. So you can go into any of these and edit and customize them, but there are some you need to be aware that Dubsado uses in certain situations, and they cannot be swapped out for a different email. So the first one would be send invoice. This email is used for recurring invoices, and you cannot pick a different one when it's being used for recurring invoices. If it's being used for a one-time invoice, you can come over here and create your own and choose to send it instead. Another one is contract completed. You cannot create your own new canned response for contract completed, but you can go in here and edit this one. The others are appointment rescheduled and appointment canceled, form reminder, and all of the auto pays. The auto pay failed, auto pay canceled, and auto pay enrollment confirmed. Those are templates that they're sent in those situations, and they cannot be swapped out for a different canned email that you've created, but you can go into these templates and edit them. Okay, so but be aware, one more thing, if you go in here and choose to edit or customize this one, that you cannot customize this by service. So whatever you put in here, it will get sent with all your contracts, with all your services. So just be kind of aware of that. So I think I have shared with you all of the things. Let's see, we've talked about default canned emails, creating a new canned email. I'm just double checking my notes here. We went over smart fields, how to send the emails manually or through a workflow, how to organize emails, and email signatures. I think that's it. There was a lot. But if you have any questions, need any more information, or even want help with your Dubsado setup, visit my website at delegatetosucceed.com.